and a very warm welcome to Fireside Fables. If you're seeking stories that weave tranquility into your night, guiding you gently towards a restful slumber, you found the right place. Here, we embark on journeys not just to distant lands and times, but into the heart of peace and calm itself. So, make yourself comfortable, let the day's worries melt away, and join me by the fireside. Together, we'll explore tales designed to soothe your mind, ease your soul, and escort you into the most peaceful sleep. Tonight, let the flickering flames and the soft cadence of our stories be your sanctuary. Chapter 1: Beginnings of Adventure. In the soft embrace of the Mississippi River's gentle murmur, our story finds its beginning in the quaint town of St. Petersburg, Missouri, a place as sleepy as the river is long. Here, young Huckleberry Finn finds himself caught between the comfort of an old life and the pull of new beginnings. Under the care of Widow Douglas, a kind but firm woman, Huck is introduced to a life quite alien to his spirited nature. The widow, with intentions as pure as the freshly fallen snow, seeks to civilize Huck, teaching him manners, reading from the Bible, and ensuring his attendance at school. Her sister, Miss Watson, a woman of sharp eyes and sharper expectations, aids her in this endeavor. Together, they work tirelessly, believing in the virtues of a proper upbringing. Huck, however, dressed in clothes that pinch and shoes that suffocate, feels trapped in this new world of civilization. The stiff collars and tight boots serve as daily reminders of his lost freedom, the wildness of the woods he so dearly misses. Despite the comforts of a soft bed and the regular meals that never let his stomach growl, Huck's heart yearns for the unfettered life by the riverbank. As he navigates this new existence, his thoughts often drift to his friend Tom Sawyer, the very embodiment of adventure and mischief. Tom, with his grand plans and wild stories, represents all that Huck desires, a life filled with excitement and governed by the rules of imagination rather than society. One evening, as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Huck sits on the widow's porch, his mind wandering to the caves and forests that were once his playgrounds. The tranquility of the scene is interrupted by the ringing of the supper bell, a sound he has come to both anticipate and resent. As he enters the dining room, his movements awkward and reluctant, he is greeted by the widow's kind but weary smile. She sees in Huck not just a young boy in need of guidance, but a soul in search of its true north. Though her methods are foreign to Huck, her love is as genuine as the food she lays before him. That night, as Huck lies in his bed, the moon casts silver beams through the window, forming patterns on his quilt. The sounds of the night, a chorus of crickets, and the distant hooting of an owl speak to him of the world outside. It is these sounds that eventually lull him into a restless sleep, filled with dreams of rivers wide and nights under the stars, where freedom is but a raft ride away. Thus begins Huck's journey, on the cusp of childhood and the wild call of adventure, where the river, like a siren, whispers his name with the promise of freedom and the unknown. Chapter 2: A Flight to Freedom. In the serene quiet of a moonlit night, When the world seems to hold its breath under the watchful stars, Huckleberry Finn makes a decision that would steer his life into uncharted waters. The gentle lull of the Mississippi calls to him, a whisper on the wind, a promise of freedom not yet grasped. Having faked his own death, a macabre trick learned from the tales of pirates and adventurers that Tom Sawyer so loved to recount, Huck escapes the confines of his so-called civilized life. With his heart pounding in his chest and a makeshift bundle slung over his shoulder, he steals away under the cloak of night, driven by a longing for a life of his own choosing. The riverbank is his first sanctuary, the soft rustling of the leaves a soothing balm to his anxious spirit. The cool, dark waters of the Mississippi beckon, and Huck, with a stolen canoe, barely a shadow on the water, paddles silently towards Jackson's Island, a place of lore among the local children. It is here, in the embrace of solitude and wilderness, that Huck feels the first stirrings of peace. Jackson's Island, a verdant jewel amid the flowing expanse of the river, offers Huck a refuge unseen by the prying eyes of civilization. The days are long and filled with the simple tasks of survival, fishing in the lazy waters, gathering wood for fires that flicker and dance into the night, and exploring the dense foliage that shields him from the world beyond. As the sun sets each evening, painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and deepening blue, Huck sits by his campfire, the crackling sounds mingling with the river's constant murmur. The flames cast ghostly shadows that dance across his features, revealing a boy teetering on the edge of manhood, alone yet unafraid. In these quiet moments, Huck contemplates his newfound freedom, the delicious solitude that fills him with both joy and a pang of loneliness. He realizes, with a wisdom beyond his years, that freedom comes tethered with solitude, a price he is willing to pay, at least for now. One misty morning, as Huck wanders along the sandy shore of the island, his eyes catch a peculiar sight, footprints that are not his own. The realization that he is not alone slices through the peaceful solitude, injecting a thrill of fear and curiosity. The island, it seems, harbors another soul seeking refuge, or perhaps an adventure of their own. As Huck follows the trail of footprints, his heart thuds with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The possibility of a companion, whether friend or foe, stirs a whirlwind of thoughts in his mind. The tracks lead him through a copse of trees, their leaves whispering secrets as he passes under their watchful gaze. The discovery of another human presence on the island marks the end of Huck's solitary refuge, but opens the door to a new chapter of his adventure. As he approaches the source of the footprints, his life is about to intertwine with another runaway, setting the stage for a journey neither of them could have anticipated. In this chapter of his life, Huck learns the dual nature of freedom. It carries the exhilarating taste of independence, but also the heavy solitude of an unshared journey. Yet, as the river flows endlessly towards the horizon, Huck is drawn ever forward into the embrace of the unknown and the unfolding of his destiny on the mighty Mississippi. Chapter 3: An Unlikely Alliance. As the soft golden light of dawn creeps over the horizon, warming the cool earth and glistening on the dew-laden leaves, Huckleberry Finn, with cautious steps and a heart heavy with uncertainty, approaches the source of the mysterious footprints on Jackson's Island. What he discovers is a revelation that would forever alter the course of his journey. Jim, Miss Watson's slave, is the other fugitive hiding in the wilderness. Jim, sitting solemnly beside a small fire that barely whispers smoke into the morning air, appears as startled by Huck's presence as Huck is to find him. Their meeting, under the vast canopy of freedom that the island offers, is marked by a mixture of relief and mutual suspicion. The air hangs heavy with unspoken questions, the echoes of their isolated lives merging in the silence of the dawn. "Huck, ain't you dead?" Jim's voice, thick with disbelief and fear, breaks the quiet. Huck quickly hushes him, fearful of drawing any unwanted attention to their hideaway. "Quiet, Jim. I ain't dead, and that ain't a thing to shout about here," Huck whispers urgently, his eyes darting around the dense underbrush as if the trees themselves might betray their secrets. The revelation that they are both runaways, though from very different masters, forms an immediate bond. Huck, escaping from the clutches of a stifling society and a drunken father, and Jim, fleeing from the threat of being sold down the river, a fate he deems worse than death, find a common ground in their shared desire for liberty. As the first rays of the sun warm the earth, casting long shadows on the ground, Huck and Jim sit down to share their stories. Jim speaks of overhearing Miss Watson's plans to sell him, a fate that propels him into the unknown, trusting the river to carry him towards freedom. Huck, with his characteristic blend of youthful innocence and budding wisdom, listens intently, the gravity of Jim's situation sinking into his soul. Their decision to journey together down the mighty Mississippi is born out of necessity, but fostered by an unspoken understanding and budding trust. They are two souls, cast adrift by society's harsh currents, finding solace and strength in each other's company. Together, they plan their route, securing the canoe and scavenging for supplies hidden among the underbrush and sandy coves of the island. Their days are filled with preparation, their nights with hushed conversations about the possibilities that lay in the sprawling river before them. The tranquility of the island life, with its slow-moving days and starlit nights, begins to weave a soothing rhythm into their lives. Jim, with his deep knowledge of the river's ways, teaches Huck how to read the water, to see the signs of approaching storms, and the best times to travel undetected. Huck, in turn, shares his own skills: fishing, setting snares, and the art of moving silently through the dense forest. Their skills complement each other, their differences binding them closer, each learning from the other, growing in ways neither had anticipated. As they ready themselves to leave the safety of Jackson's Island, their raft becomes a symbol of their shared hopes, a flimsy collection of logs and planks yet sturdy enough to carry them towards the dream of freedom. Their alliance, unlikely as it seems, is forged by the river itself, a testament to their resilience and their refusal to be defined by the roles society has thrust upon them. Thus, under the canopy of an endless sky, with the river flowing ceaselessly beneath them, Huck and Jim set off into the heart of America, their hearts buoyed by the current, their spirits as intertwined as the waters of the Mississippi. This chapter of their lives, filled with the promise of freedom and the peril of the unknown, marks the true beginning of their grand adventure. Chapter 4: Perils and Plans. The Mississippi River, with its swirling currents and meandering bends, carries Huckleberry Finn and Jim away from the tranquility of Jackson's Island and into a world teeming with both danger and wonder. As their raft drifts southward, the wide expanse of the river offers a deceptive sense of security, for the waterways they navigate are as fraught with peril as they are with promise. With each passing mile, the bond between Huck and Jim strengthens, their fates entwined like the river currents that guide them. Jim, with his calm demeanor and keen intuition, becomes a mentor to Huck, teaching him the subtle art of reading the river's mood and the skies above. Huck, in return, brings a youthful vigor and a sharp wit to their partnership, ensuring that their spirits remain high despite the uncertainties that lie ahead. As they journey deeper into the heart of America, their nights are spent under a blanket of stars, the gentle rocking of the raft lulling them into a fragile peace. However, the daylight hours bring challenges that test their resolve and their ingenuity. The river is a busy artery of commerce, bustling with steamboats and ferries, each encounter a potential threat to their freedom. One bright morning, as the mist hangs low over the water, their peaceful journey is disrupted by the distant sound of a steamboat. The mechanical churn of the paddle wheels grows louder, a menacing echo against the soft murmur of the river. Huck and Jim hastily conceal their raft among the thick willows lining the bank, their hearts pounding as the colossal boat passes by, oblivious to the fugitives hidden just yards away. The close call leaves them shaken but unscathed, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers they face. It prompts them to devise a series of signals and hiding strategies, turning their raft into a covert sanctuary that can be quickly disguised or maneuvered at the first sign of trouble. Their encounters are not all fraught with danger, however. The river also brings them allies in unexpected forms. One afternoon, as they moor their raft to forage for supplies on a small wooded island, they stumble upon a group of river folk, cast out from society and living off the land. These rough yet kind-hearted individuals share their food and stories, offering Jim and Huck insights into the lives of those who dwell along the river's edge. From them, Huck learns about the complexities of human nature, the hardships that bind communities, and the injustices that drive people to lead lives of quiet rebellion. Armed with new knowledge and renewed caution, Huck and Jim continue their journey, navigating not only the physical dangers of the river, but also the moral complexities of the worlds they encounter. Each port of call brings new challenges, from deceptive con men and thieving bandits to kind strangers and potential allies. Huck, growing ever more adept at deception, often dons various disguises, playing roles to gather information or to extricate himself and Jim from precarious situations. Despite the perils they face, the river also offers moments of profound beauty and tranquility. There are evenings when the only sounds are the lapping of the water against the raft and Jim's soft humming, a melody that speaks of hope and sorrow intermingled. These moments, rare and fleeting, are treasures in their tumultuous journey, reminders of the freedom and peace they seek. As they drift through the heartland of America, the river shapes Huck not only as a navigator, but as a thinker, challenging his beliefs and his view of the world. With every encounter, every challenge, and every mile they cover, Huck's understanding of right and wrong, of justice and inequality, grows deeper. He begins to see Jim not just as a companion and fellow fugitive, but as a friend, a human being deserving of the same freedoms for which he himself yearns. Thus, Chapter 4 of their journey unfolds, a chapter marked by perils navigated and plans forged, by the deepening of trust and the growth of a friendship that defies the conventions of their time. Together, Huck and Jim ride the currents of the mighty Mississippi, their eyes set on the freedom that lies beyond its banks, their spirits buoyed by the bond that sustains them. Chapter 5: Life on the Raft. As the days meld into each other under the vast expanse of the Mississippi sky, Huckleberry Finn and Jim's life on the raft becomes a delicate balance of vigilance and tranquility. This floating patch of freedom, their makeshift home, drifts lazily along the river, carrying them further into the heart of America. The raft, with its creaking timbers and the constant, soothing slap of water against its sides, is both a sanctuary and a vessel of hope. Morning on the raft often begins with the soft, golden hue of dawn breaking over the river. The air is filled with the sweet scent of the river and the sounds of birds singing from the banks. Jim, ever the early riser, tends to the small fire they keep for cooking, the smoke curling up into the clear sky as if drawing lines of their journey. Huck, rubbing sleep from his eyes, would join him with a fishing pole in hand, ready to catch their breakfast from the bountiful waters. Their meals, though simple, are a testament to their resourcefulness. Fish from the river, foraged fruits, and occasionally, supplies bartered from riverside towns. Jim, with skills honed from years of necessity, crafts makeshift utensils and manages their provisions with care. Huck, under Jim's guidance, learns the subtle art of cooking over an open fire, mastering the flavors that the river offers. As the raft meanders along, Huck takes to reading aloud from a tattered book they found abandoned in a town. The stories within, full of adventure and distant lands, fuel their imaginations and fill the quiet afternoons with excitement and wonder. Jim listens, his eyes reflecting the thrill of the tales, and occasionally he adds stories of his own, a blend of folklore and personal memories that paint a vivid picture of his life before the flight to freedom. Life on the raft is punctuated by moments of introspection and teaching. Jim teaches Huck about the stars and their movements, navigating not just the river, but the night sky above. They discuss the constellations, crafting their own myths and legends, a shared mythology of their journey. Huck, whose education had previously been sporadic and begrudging, finds a new appreciation for knowledge as Jim unveils the world in ways that books never did. However, life on the raft is not without its challenges. Storms, with little warning, force them to lash their belongings down, securing themselves against the fury of wind and rain. The raft becomes a small speck amidst the tempest, tossed by the capricious whims of nature. During these times, their reliance on each other becomes more pronounced. Jim's calm demeanor balances Huck's impulsive nature, ensuring their survival through teamwork and mutual trust. Amidst these trials, the evenings bring a peace that is almost sacred. As the sun sets, casting a fiery glow across the water, Huck and Jim sit side by side, watching the horizon swallow the day. They talk about what freedom means, about their hopes for the future, and the fear of the unknown that occasionally grips their hearts. These conversations, sometimes deep and fraught with emotion, other times light and filled with laughter, weave the strong, invisible threads that bind their friendship. Life on the raft, for all its simplicity, is a profound experience for Huck. It teaches him about the complexity of human emotions, the harsh realities of the world, and the beauty of a friendship that transcends the barriers of race and circumstance. Each day brings him closer to understanding his own desires and the kind of man he wishes to become. Thus, Chapter 5 unfolds gently like the river itself, carrying Huck and Jim through experiences that shape their souls. As they drift under the moonlit sky, the raft becomes more than a mere structure of logs and planks. It becomes a shared home, a tiny, resilient world of their own, floating towards freedom on the currents of the mighty Mississippi. Chapter 6: Close Calls and Clever Escapes. The river's current, ever winding and unpredictable, mirrors the journey of Huckleberry Finn and Jim as they navigate through a mosaic of close encounters and narrow escapes. Their raft, a small speck in the vastness of the Mississippi, is both their haven and their vessel of adventure, propelling them into the depths of human nature and the perils of the world beyond the riverbanks. As they journey farther south, the landscape around the river transforms, reflecting the diverse tapestry of America. Towns grow larger and more frequent, each one a new set of eyes, potentially hostile, that could peer into their lives and disrupt their quest for freedom. The necessity for caution grows, and with it, Huck's skill in subterfuge and disguise. One particularly crisp morning, as the mist clings to the surface of the water, Huck spots a steamboat docked at a small town, bustling with activity. The risk of discovery is high, yet their supplies are dwindling, compelling them to take a calculated risk. Huck, donning an old, tattered hat and smudging his face with river mud, transforms himself into a scruffy local boy. He ventures into town under the guise of trading fish, his eyes and ears open for any news that might affect their journey. In the course of his foray, Huck learns of a reward posted for Jim's capture, the numbers chillingly impersonal. The news tightens the knot in his stomach, but also sharpens his resolve. With a mix of cunning and luck, he gathers supplies, some bartered, some found, and returns to the raft, his heart pounding with both triumph and relief. Their escape from the town is a silent, hurried affair, pushing off into the river with the first light of dawn, leaving only the faintest ripple in their wake. As they drift away, the weight of their narrow escape settles over them, a stark reminder of the stakes of their journey. Not all their encounters threaten danger. One serene evening, as they tie their raft to a secluded bend in the river, they come across a fellow traveler, an old man with a face as weathered as the logs of their raft. The man, a loner who has made the river his home, shares his fire and stories of the river's past. He speaks of steamboat captains, fierce currents, and the legends of the Mississippi. From him, Huck and Jim glean practical knowledge of navigating the river's more treacherous stretches, information that could one day save their lives. But the river, like fate, has a way of reminding them of its unpredictability. One night, while they sleep, their raft breaks loose from its moorings, setting them adrift. They awaken to the cold splash of water and the disorienting absence of land. With frantic effort, they manage to regain control of their raft, pulling it to safety as the first rays of the sun illuminate the dangers they had unknowingly escaped. These experiences, each a thread in the fabric of their journey, weave a pattern of growth and understanding. Huck, once a boy who thought little of the world and its complex moralities, finds himself grappling with the realities of right and wrong, freedom and captivity. Jim, his constant companion, becomes not only a friend, but a beacon of wisdom and humanity, challenging Huck's preconceived notions of the society from which they flee. As they continue their journey, each close call deepens their bond. Each clever escape sharpens their resolve. The river, with its shifts and turns, becomes a metaphor for their own transformations, a fluid, evolving force that shapes their destinies in unforeseeable ways. And as they float under the canopy of stars, the silent witness to their journey, Huck and Jim navigate not just the physical landscapes that unfold before them, but the moral landscapes within their hearts. Chapter 7: Confrontations and Moral Questions. As Huck and Jim delve deeper into their journey along the Mississippi, their encounters become not only more frequent, but also more morally challenging. The complexities of the society from which they are fleeing are mirrored in the dilemmas they face. Each decision, a reflection of Huck's growing moral consciousness and Jim's steadfast integrity. One sultry afternoon, as the sun beats down on the wide expanse of the river, they come upon a large raft, adrift and apparently abandoned. As they draw closer, the cries of distress carry over the water. Aboard the raft, they find a family, impoverished and desperate, their belongings meager, their faces etched with the lines of hardship. The family's raft had collided with a steamboat, leaving them stranded and fearful of the river's caprices. Huck and Jim, despite their own precarious situation, do not hesitate to offer assistance. They tow the family's raft to the nearest town, sharing their food and water. In the hours they spend together, Huck listens to the family's tale of eviction and loss, each word a stark reminder of the injustices that pervade the world they all inhabit. This encounter leaves a profound impact on Huck, who grapples with the inequities of a society that can so easily ignore its most vulnerable. As they part ways with the family, Huck is somber, the weight of the encounter lingering in his thoughts. Jim, sensing Huck's turmoil, talks to him about the nature of freedom and the bonds of humanity that tie everyone, regardless of their circumstances. This conversation deepens Huck's understanding and stirs a resolve to confront the moral ambiguities of his own choices. Their journey continues, and not long after, Huck and Jim encounter a group of slave hunters. Quick-witted Huck concocts a story about his sick father aboard their raft, playing on the fears of disease to keep the hunters at bay. As they leave, relieved yet shaken, Huck feels the sting of his lies, the deceit necessary for survival, but corrosive to his young conscience. This incident sparks a pivotal moment for Huck. He wrestles with the morality of his actions, the lies spun not just for survival, but for protection of Jim, his friend, whose fate would be sealed should they be discovered. Huck's internal struggle is a tumultuous journey in itself, paralleling their physical journey down the vast river. Jim's presence and his poignant hopes for freedom become a constant reminder to Huck of the personal stakes involved in their adventure. Each encounter with danger, each decision made in the spur of the moment, brings Huck closer to understanding the broader implications of their quest for liberty. As the river carries them towards unknown destinies, the night conversations between Huck and Jim grow deeper. They discuss the stars above them, the silent witnesses to their journey, drawing parallels between the constellations and the hopes they each harbor for their future. These moments, set against the backdrop of the flowing river, are filled with philosophical reflections on freedom, society, and the nature of humanity. In Chapter 7, Huck's confrontations with moral questions mark his transition from a boy to a young man faced with complex decisions. His interactions with Jim, coupled with the harsh realities they encounter, forge in him a moral compass that is increasingly at odds with the conventions of the society from which he fled. The river, relentless and unyielding, is both their road to freedom and the crucible in which their characters are tested and transformed. Chapter 8: The Journey's End. As the winding currents of the Mississippi carry Huck and Jim closer to their ultimate destination, the tension and excitement of their long journey begin to converge in a series of events that will determine their fates. The river, once a broad expanse of opportunity and freedom, narrows as it approaches its delta, mirroring the narrowing options for our travelers. The final leg of their journey is marked by a sense of urgency and anticipation. Huck, whose views on life and morality have been irrevocably altered by the experiences shared with Jim, faces the future with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Jim, ever the quiet pillar of strength, shows signs of weariness, his eyes often fixed on the southern horizon, where his dreams of freedom for himself and his family lie. Their conversations, once filled with the stories and playful banter that helped pass the time, now turn towards plans for what will come after the river. Jim speaks of buying his family's freedom, of finding a place where he can live in peace, his voice thick with emotion. Huck, who once thought little of the consequences of his adventures, now contemplates his role in Jim's quest and the kind of life that awaits him beyond the adventure. As they draw near to the Free States, their journey is suddenly jeopardized by a confrontation that tests the very essence of their bond. A group of men, bounty hunters on the trail of escaped slaves, stops them. Huck, faced with the most crucial decision of his young life, concocts a story to protect Jim, claiming that his white father is aboard the raft, sick with smallpox. The men, driven by fear and superstition, back away, but not before leaving a lingering threat in their wake. This encounter leaves Huck shaken, not just by the close call, but by the realization of the deep bonds of friendship and loyalty that have formed between him and Jim. He understands now, more than ever, the corrupt nature of the societal norms he was raised under, and he makes a silent vow to do whatever it takes to ensure Jim's safety and freedom. Their final days on the river are a blur of anxious preparation and careful navigation. When at last they reach the safety of the Free States, the relief is palpable. However, their arrival is not the end of their story, but a new beginning. Jim, with tears of joy and relief streaming down his face, thanks Huck for his bravery and loyalty. The freedom he has longed for is now a tangible reality, and the possibilities before him are endless. For Huck, the end of the river journey marks a return to a society he no longer feels a part of. His experiences with Jim have opened his eyes to the injustices around him, and he finds himself restless and disillusioned with the prospect of returning to his former life. Faced with the decision of what to do next, Huck reflects on all he has learned. With a heavy heart but a hopeful spirit, he decides that his adventures on the river are just the beginning. In a poignant final scene, as Jim begins his new life as a free man, Huck looks to the west, towards the territories that lie beyond the Mississippi. Determined to escape the civilized society that has so disappointed him, he plans to set off for the Indian territories, seeking a place where he can be truly free. Thus, the journey of Huckleberry Finn and Jim comes to an end, not with a return to the old, but with the start of something new. Their shared experiences on the Mississippi will forever be a testament to their courage and a profound friendship that transcended the deep divisions of their time. The river, relentless and powerful, has carried them to this moment of parting, each to his own destiny, forever changed by the journey they shared. Thank you for allowing Fireside Fables to be a part of your journey tonight. We hope our story has gently guided you to the gates of dreamland, wrapping you in the comfort of tales told by the fireside's warm glow. For those of you who might still be seeking the embrace of sleep, stay with us a little longer. A calm, meditative peace will follow shortly, designed to ease you into a restful slumber under the watchful care of the night's peaceful embrace. Remember, the path to dreamland is always here, lit by the soft light of our fireside tales. May you find tranquility, peace, and the sweetest of dreams. Until next time, good night, and let the gentle rhythm of the night cradle you to sleep. Close your eyes and settle into a comfortable position. Whether you're lying down or seated, allow your body to relax completely. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and then gently exhale, releasing all the tension from your body. This meditation will guide you into a deep, restful sleep. As you follow along, let my words be the gentle waves that guide you into the peaceful embrace of slumber. Begin by focusing on your breath. Feel the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. With every breath, imagine a wave of relaxation sweeping over your body. Starting from the top of your head, let this wave of calm flow down to your toes, relaxing each part of your body one by one. Now, bring your attention to your mind. Visualize your thoughts like leaves floating on a gentle stream, drifting further away with each breath. There's nothing for you to do right now, nowhere you need to be, except right here in this moment of peace. As your body sinks deeper into relaxation, imagine a soft, warm light enveloping you. This light brings with it a deep sense of calm, filling every corner of your being. With each breath, this light grows brighter, your body feeling lighter. It's now time to let go completely. Your serene place is here to cradle you into deep sleep. With every breath, feel yourself drifting further into this haven of peace. You are safe, you are loved, and you are embraced by the gentle arms of sleep. As my voice fades away, let the calmness and peace you feel guide you into a deep, restful sleep. Your body knows what it needs, and it's time to surrender to the soothing rhythm of your breath, to the quiet of your mind, and to the warmth of your peaceful place. Release all hold on consciousness and allow yourself to sink into the depths of sleep. Here, in this space, healing and rejuvenation happen effortlessly. Let go and let sleep envelop you in its comforting embrace.